Yeah.
We are
Thank
now officially recording.
Yes, sir. Thanks for jumping on. This is the first pod,
Oh, is it?
first recording. Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored.
Got
Oh
some
my
more people
gosh.
lined up already. I was surprised the response was a lot of people were down.
Yeah.
All five of the people I asked have agreed. So
Oh, so cool.
moving
Yeah, I love
on.
that you're starting this.
Yeah, it's wild. I think probably like 5 or 6 years ago, I wasn't in a space to want to share, want to even put my story out there.
Yeah.
So now I feel
Wow.
good to go.
So
So
this
yeah.
is like a growth evolution point for you too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Just to be seen and
Mm-hmm.
let all my flaws out is
Yes. Yes. And now you're putting a platform for other people to do the same. It's great.
yeah.
Coming full circle.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know where to start. I mean, we could do the formal where are you from, where were you born kind of thing, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay, yeah,
That's
that's a good start. Well, my name is Alex, and my family is originally from Southern California, kind of the high desert area. We moved to Kansas when I was probably six. Super small town, like 800 people and like 30 cows. Um, had a fairly good childhood. Yeah, it was great. I'm so glad I was more of a country boy than a desert boy. I love the heat, but I don't know. There's just something about the open plains that I just love here. Um, yeah, and then I'm now here in Kansas City, which I love. It's not too big of a city. It's not too small. It's perfect. I love like the community here. It's super unique and special, and
nice.
um, yeah, I don't know. The energy here is just like it's very enlivened, which I love, but also very chill
It's
too.
the heart of America.
Literally, yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. I forget that's a thing. Yes, it is the heart of America, and I would say that proves true for the energy here.
Yeah. It's a lot more magical than I thought it'd be when I went
Mhm,
there. And that's where
mhm.
we met in Kansas City.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right. Well, you know, the Wizard of Oz. That's where all this is from, and I feel like we kind of have some semblance of a Emerald City here.
Yeah. That's a powerful mythological story right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
So
full
what
on Dorothy.
what was your family like growing up? What was that like for you?
My family was, oh my gosh, they've sacrificed a lot for my brother and I to have just happy lives. Just specifically, my mom had a really rough childhood, and so she did a lot of ancestral clearing for my brother and I. And
Okay.
my dad did as well. They're just extremely hardworking, but they've been very supportive. I'm gay, and they were supportive of me being gay, so of my brother as well. Um, my dad was actually the first person to um, give me my first spiritual awakening when I was probably, I think I was 8 or 7. And the church, they used to go to this church in Southern California. I don't remember what it was called, but it was church based off of meditation, just putting it in very general terms. And my brother and I, we just fought so much. And my parents were like, I feel like for them, it was like, all right, the last straw, we're going to try this meditation thing. And if not, I remember my dad threatening to like send us to military school if we didn't like get our act together. And so my dad led us through this meditation where we basically got to meet like our guardian angels, is how he termed it. And I met my two guardian angels in that meditation. And yeah, just an overwhelming sense of like remembrance I remember having in that experience. And yeah, after that meditation, my brother and I, we didn't fight as intensely anymore. Like it was such like a, I don't know how it was for him. I'd be curious to talk about it now that he's older, but I just remember it was like, I mean, night and day. It
So
was
what
crazy.
changed for you in that? What was the biggest takeaway, I guess?
Well, again, it was that sense of remembrance, like, oh, like I've seen these guardian angels before. I've felt this feeling before I came into this life. And I think that was a very pivotal moment for me because it allowed me to feel more into my spirit, which is, I don't want to say higher at a higher frequency. Well, I guess it is kind of at a higher frequency than the body, but it put my awareness in that higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I just felt more elevated and
Mm-hmm.
um, more like, oh, this fighting is like bullshit. Like, why are we fighting this much?
Man, and you were like 7 or 8, you said? Pretty young.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I
cool. That.
I've had like intermittent like paranormal experiences growing up as well. And that kind of kept me in that kind of spiritual like realm. Like there's always these weird things that would happen. And so then the meditation happened, and then it was like things were puzzle pieces were like starting to fit together, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it almost takes a parent to go through the like do the work that they can and then lead, give the kid
Right.
like reign to kind of take
Right.
it from there and keep running.
Right. Yeah, that's what my dad said. He's like, I never, because we talk about it openly, and he's like, yeah, I've never gone as deep as you have now, but I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you
Mm-hmm.
took the fire I gave you and you're making a bonfire now, essentially. Yeah.
There's a Carl Jung quote, something like, "The task of every child is to live the unlived lives of their parents."
Mm,
So
mm.
it is totally like passing the baton on.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a really good one. I would say they would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wild how the growth works into the invisible realm.
Right. Yeah. The things we can't see. And I feel like my mom, let me tell you a little bit about my mom. My mom is a scientist. She's a biochemistry teacher, and she has this background in like physics. And I mean, she's just an amazing teacher, and kind of has some skepticism, healthy skepticism in the spiritual world. While my dad is like, he's so into it. I can't tell you how many books he's read about like near death experiences. So it's also interesting that there is that balance of like skepticism, like coming from a science background, and my dad like full on in the spiritual realm and open to all of it. I feel like that was important for me as well, um, to kind of hold sort of the mask. I feel like in my interpretation of my mom's masculine approach, very kind of contained, like I'm only going to see what's in this container. And my dad was like more in his feminine as far as what kind of spiritual information he was open to. And I feel like that was maybe subconsciously helped me as well, with my balance in
Yeah, it
both
is a
worlds.
balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had similar, except opposite. My mom was the feminine, dad was masculine, very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But our spirituality was more in the church,
Oh,
so it was a
really?
little more contained. And then I kind of rebelled against that, and then eventually
Yeah.
went away.
What church were you in?
Just whatever non-denominational, whatever evangelical. Just,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom is very much like a hippie at heart, spiritual. Like I'll lead her through meditations now, and she'll get downloads and start singing, and like
Oh my
she's
gosh. That's
totally
such a
open to
gift
that.
to give your mom.
Yeah,
Wow.
I keep telling her like, you love this. Why don't you meditate more? And then she just like doesn't do it unless I make her. But
Just be guided into it. Yeah, by you.
yes,
You are the shepherd now.
it's yeah, strange
Wow.
how that works, but
Yeah.
yeah, it does take building blocks. It doesn't seem like I haven't talked to anybody that's just like gotten it out of the blue kind of thing.
Yeah, where it was just like, oh, you came into this life to know this,
Mhm.
I haven't met too many people like that either. And especially I just give so much like so much reverence to people who were in like a church setting, and then now they're in a more open spiritual practice, because that, I mean, that can be very tumultuous and traumatizing to like shift out of the religious aspect of spirituality.
It takes a lot of courage for sure. You have
Yeah.
to walk away from that whole community and
Right.
that whole identity.
Right.
It's a
Right.
lot.
It is
Yeah.
a lot. feel like a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit for the people who identify with that story.
Yeah,
Like y'all are. Mm,
that was my story for sure.
wow.
I
Wow. So
went,
what can I ask like
yeah.
what was the thing that that like got you out of it or activated you into embodying a maybe different like spiritual mindset?
I guess what got me out of it was just almost like a natural, just questioning everything when you're like 18. You just start looking at your parents and being like, what? What is this? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of rebelled, kind of went like more as an atheist, investigated that side of things. And then my real breakthrough was when I was 21. I ate 5 grams of mushrooms alone in the dark.
That'll do it.
Yeah. I
Wow.
just had a total awakening that left my body, and I came back and I laughed harder than I've ever laughed about anything because of
Oh
the
my
whole
gosh.
death became a joke and everything. I disappeared for a while. Like I could only see myself through other people's eyes. I
Oh wow.
was like totally gone, but still
Wow.
here.
Right.
I remember I was going through like Facebook, just looking at pictures, and I could just see memories through other people's eyes, not
Wow.
my own. My own was just not there.
Wow. That's intense.
It was a lot. I didn't even know what I was signing up for when I did it, but I was in a dark place. Like my early 20s were dark. It got really dark. So that
Mm-hmm.
saved me a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, a lot
Wow.
of darkness. Like, even the idea of killing myself was just like, you don't even die. Like you're not gonna
Mm.
change anything. So don't even, I didn't even entertain it. After that, it was just like
Wow.
no reason to even go there. So that began
Wow.
my awakening. Still had a lot of work to do. Went through a lot
Sure.
of a
Sure.
lot of I don't know, problems, addictions, became an alcoholic, pothead, all
Mm-hmm.
these things just
Mm-hmm.
to escape. But that was a huge like seen through the clouds moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've heard a lot of people like a lot of people have like those dark experiences after like an awakening because it's like you have this experience and you're not quite sure how to like integrate all of that or understand it because you just don't have the language or just the
Mm-hmm.
understanding of it. You just know you had that experience and it can, yeah, I can totally see how you even experience darker things because it's like, how do I hold all this? Like, I don't even know what to do with any of this. Like, it's
Mm-hmm. And
just
there's no
out,
community. There's no
no
people to
community.
talk to besides like Terrence McKenna videos or online or something
Yeah.
like he was
Yeah.
like my pseudo shaman
Oh
and
my
just
gosh. Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, you made it on the other side, it sounds like.
yeah, we're rocking and rolling now. And
Yeah.
mushrooms became my teacher for then I'd go I've done that and upped it up. I've been like go out in the mountains in Colorado, eat 6 grams, 7 grams, 8 grams, 9 grams, and just
Whoa.
yeah,
Oh
they
my gosh.
got the craziest insights and downloads about life and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
doing it in nature too. Like I've,
yeah.
I've done that once before, and it's always has been a profound experience. I've done it a couple times unintentionally, and like with my friends, and it's never been good. It's always a bad trip. Like I need to be alone, or support. Like being in a facilitated environment is always
Yeah,
nice,
that's good. But
Mhm.
yeah, I like being alone for sure. I'll go out. So
Yeah, I went to Tulum last year. My friend hosted a retreat, and we um we did do mushrooms, and the whole intention for the retreat was to connect with the domesticated part of ourselves. Like I don't know if you've read the book, The Four Agreements, but
oh
it was
yeah.
very much based off of that book. And yeah, I totally underestimated it. I like felt like I died on the beach and like was just going really, really going through it. And it was interesting to because I really wanted to like face this domesticated part of myself. Like, what does that even mean? Like, we're gonna find out. And there was so much patriarchal like energy in me, and that's what I realized was domesticating me. And the way that it was like showing up for me was, it was like this shadowy man, and I could see like my masculinity attached to this patriarchal energy. And it's kind of like this top down effect. It was like the patriarchal energy influencing my masculine, and then my masculine, based off of what that patriarchal energy was doing, was then influencing my feminine. And I consider myself to be like a very feminine person. And so to see this patriarchal energy like kind of overbearing both energies was like very hard for me to accept. And yeah, I was like trying to wipe, like I remember just like doing this, like I was trying to wipe it away. And it finally, my friend came up, was like, you need to move your body, like get up and start moving. And so like I swear for like probably 45 minutes I was shaking and like bouncing and like jumping and like throwing my hands in the air. Oh, it was exhausting. There's still a lot of work to do, but the way I describe it is like, I don't know, have you seen like the Harry Potter movies or know anything about Harry
Sure.
Potter? It felt like I destroyed one of the Horcruxes. You know, there's still probably six more left, but it was kind of rewarding to kind of see it in that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When did you first discover plant medicine, and when did you think that was a thing in your life?
Well, I did smoke a lot of weed growing up or in college. And I didn't call it plant medicine then. I just, and smoked quite a bit of it. That really opened me up a lot. But the first time someone had introduced it as plant medicine was, I think, in 2020. My friend holds ceremonies, and they talked about it as plant medicine. Like, yeah, we're gonna get together and facilitate this safe experience where you can um, you can sit intentionally with the medicine rather than just taking it for fun and seeing what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was probably about 2020 when they introduced it to me in that way. Yeah,
What
I think you were there. I think
was that?
maybe
Was was it
maybe
the sassafras?
I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 2021.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe you weren't at my first one. It would have been the second one.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. What
What'd you
about
get
you?
out?
Oh.
The first one, I mean, I same with weed, just definitely went down that rabbit hole for a while. Helped
Mm-hmm.
me a lot. And then started dabbling in mushrooms, but then the real breakthrough was when I was 21 and had that 5 gram. And from there, I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gone down plenty of little rabbit holes here and there.
Yeah, same here. Hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like getting a new tattoo. It's like once you get a tattoo, it's like, oh, I want another one. I
Yep.
want to keep going down this rabbit hole.
And all different flavors, different insights. It's fun.
Yeah,
Keeps
yeah,
me.
yes. I'm already such an open channel that the plant medicine just like gets me in connection with, at least my experiences thus far has, besides the patriarchal experience of mushrooms, I have all these like spirit guides or like entities will like come into my space, and I can have like more of a conscious, real conversation with them just because I'm so open. Like the medicine just opens me up so much already. And that those have been the insights that have been like truly inspiring to like see these entities come in. And it's really activated like my unworthiness. Like it's like, oh my gosh, like Merlin's coming to me right now. I feel so unworthy of your presence. And he's just like, what the fuck? Like, no,
You
you,
created me, bro.
yeah. Right.
You're the reason I'm here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was a profound experience I had when I did another psilocybin ceremony. And yeah, Merlin and Yeshua specifically came to me. And it was like this beautiful reunion of friends. And they were telling that the way that they were presenting themselves to me was like my two gay dads is what it was like my two spiritual dads. And that was a turning point for me as far as um my personal empowerment. It's like, wow, if this is being reflected back to me, Merlin and Yeshua, clearly that means that I hold the same like energy that they do. Like I am capable of the same energetic influence that they have for myself. And that was huge. That's when I fully stepped into like my wizardhood.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trick from there is the integration, right? Like, how do
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, right. Yeah, how do you integrate like
get back to that place on your like natural
right, right,
without the help of the teacher, the mushroom
exactly.
teacher?
Yeah, after that ceremony, I created a work of art to kind of reflect my experience. And I've noticed when creating art based off an experience like that can connect me back to like the messages, the energy, and it is really a tool for me to continue to integrate. Because I've noticed part of my process is when I use my art to reflect something like that, when I meditate with it or I sit with it, I'll continue to get more downloads of like what to do
Mm-hmm.
next, like next step action points or something I'll remember in the ceremony that I completely forgotten was triggered by something that I saw in the picture I created.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation has just been the biggest like integration though. Like
Mm-hmm.
just trying to connect back with the feelings and then where does that live in my body and how can I expand upon that energy in my body and what else contracts because of that feeling. And it's yeah, just basically like you're a detective. It's like, okay, had this experience, now let's track to see what's going on in the body, what can expand, what can contract.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, meditation. Once I discovered meditation, that was a huge eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does your meditation practice look like now? Current.
um Currently I'm really working on like mindfulness, so really not falling into my thought processes as much. So really just being aware of everything without like falling into everything, just observing. Um, I do some breath work meditations as well to just kind of like move energy in my body. And then I've been doing a lot of masculine, feminine, like balance meditations. Those have been kind
Mm-hmm.
of my three right now. Um, yeah, that's just what I feel guided to at this time. Um, yeah, what kind of practices do you do?
Breath work, and then sitting in stillness really has been my huge
Mm.
thing. Probably about 7 years ago, I started every morning. I'd sit for at least, I try to do 20 minutes, but even if it was 5 minutes, just to like sit in that stillness. And I started noticing just the subtle changes of my day would unfold completely different if I started the day with meditation or if I didn't.
Hmm.
And from there, I met a teacher out in Denver. She runs a neurosculpting institute
Mm.
and did a workshop with her. And she kind of broke it down like the fight or flight and freeze and like realizing, oh, I've been in fight or flight for 20 years, 30 years.
Oh,
Like, why do I
whoa,
need to be in fight or flight all the time?
right,
And why is meditation allowing me to actually get back to a regulated state that's not just freaking out all the time?
right.
And so that was huge to explain, like, oh, it's there's a reason why this helps me and like what you're seeing and feeling.
Mm.
So
Damn. Yeah, I'm just like imagining you in fight or flight for that long and then transitioning into not being into fight or flight. That's like massive shifting.
mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we go into the when I was a kid, my dad was a federal agent, and so he told me like the world's full of bad guys. They want to kidnap you. You need
Oh
to not tell anybody where you live. Don't tell them your phone number. All like
my
we
God.
we live in this secret little world of that you don't really exist, but you do exist. And
What
so
the
yeah,
hell?
I'd be a little kid with a knife under my blankets and just being like, I'm ready to stab anybody that comes in here, just trying to go to
Oh my
bed,
God.
terrified of whatever's out there.
Mhm.
So that definitely set the tone for my like needing to be in fight or flight. And so a huge breakthrough was when I was 20, I started jujitsu, and that was like I got the fight or flight out of me, and then I
Hmm.
could relax afterwards, and I felt like a normal person. But then the next day it'd be back, and I'd have to like
Wow. Yeah, keep at it.
go through it again. And
Yeah.
jujitsu was the first one of the first things I guess that saved my life. That was like huge to like regulate, and I didn't even know it then, but I did feel it.
Yeah. Holy cow. What a beginning of your life to start off with. Like you had a big assignment right out the womb.
Yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
it's interesting too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's interesting how fighter you jujitsu being like a martial arts and like a fighting activity got you out of fight or flight. Like
Mm-hmm.
something that seemingly looks like fighting got you out of the fight or flight.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it just hit that button like you need to fight, and then ding, you fought. All right. Your body
uh,
can only take so much. Like as
mhm.
much as you love it, you can only train an hour or two a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your
Oh,
body. I mean, they're trying to choke you, break your arm, break your leg. Like
oh, right. Yeah.
there's only so much abuse you can take
Right.
until you're just like exhausted.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it
Wow.
it hits that button. And
Yeah,
yeah,
was that like, do you think that was like healing your inner child too, since you were experiencing a lot of that as a child, like just that being in that jujitsu environment, like was just healing for your inner child?
the safety thing for sure. For whatever reason, I was always the smallest, littlest kid growing up. Like I didn't grow up until I was like 18.
Oh,
So
wow.
whenever we line up for class pictures, I'd be the shortest kid or next to the shortest kid. So I got bullied in
Mm.
elementary, middle school, and I always make friends with the biggest kids to like for bodyguards basically. So I I had a need to just be able to protect myself, and that was a huge thing with jujitsu because
Yeah.
after you practice for a while, you're like, all right, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like
Right. Oh,
just
yes.
train for 5 years,
Yes.
so like I can just kill you with my bare hands, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine. Like
Yes. I can swiftly move my body in 2 seconds and you're done.
yeah, and you have no idea what's going on. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, but
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I really feel like that's like the dragon spirit too that you have is like
mm-hmm,
this fierce protector and this fierce like energy in general that has kept like that inner child protected.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of armor, a lot of armor there I had to put on. I was
Yeah.
doing a body work session on mushrooms once, and I could go back into like coming into this world, and just I could feel myself putting all this armor on my body just
Mm.
to do the assignment that I needed to do. I
Right.
came in with this pure beaming heart, and it was just like, now cover it up with all this
Yeah.
armor
Yeah.
so that you can survive this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still piecing, taking the pieces off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's super courageous and a lot of people don't ever get that far too. They just keep the armor on because they don't know what to do with it. So I
Yeah.
commend you for doing the work.
Thank you. It's been an interesting experience.
Mhm. Yeah. I can relate a little bit to the armoring, but I did a lot of masking as a kid. Just growing up small community and knowing that I knew that I was gay at a very, very young age. And I knew that it wasn't okay to like express that out into the world. Um, yeah, there was one instance I remember where a kid older than me, like his parents found out that he was gay in my community, and I remember hearing the story of he came home and his parents were drunk and they found out and they like, I mean, they almost killed him. Like he had to like move to like another town. Um, and so that was a fear of mine. I always knew my parents were okay with it, so there was a sense of safety there. But still, just I mean, the fear of coming out, and then also like having all these spiritual, like these specifically paranormal experiences that my parents didn't really know what to do with. And then I had, you know, just being gay, it's like I was very confused for a long time. And then I did theater, so I have a degree in theater, and theater was a great way to like, in a way, it was very healing. But as I'm older now, it was a way to, I don't know, strengthen my ability to mask more. I'm so good at pretending to be not myself that I can pretend to be all these other characters too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, there's a lot of masking. I'm still working on that too. There's
Yeah,
still
I have some of that for sure.
yes,
My
yes.
needing to be this invisible person and then being seen is like a huge,
Mm-hmm.
like, you can be seen, calm down.
Right, right, right. Yeah. So when I came out at 16, and then when I had like my all these like spiritual awakenings older in life, it felt like I was coming out of like the spiritual closet too. I was so scared to like, hey guys, like I channel Merlin and I do all these other woo-woo things, you know.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
owning it,
scary.
it is that. Yeah, it is a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think channeling is? What is that for you?
Channeling for me is it's having the capability of um, having specific conscious energy move through you into physical reality. So whether it's through your voice, or for me, it's most specifically through like my painting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's the capacity to hold it too. So a lot of people channel and they don't know it. And, you know, they just like a good sign that someone channels is when you're engaged in something and time moves weird. That happens when people are in that flow state, and it's when you're in that flow state that certain energies can move through you, either conscious or unconscious in the field or from an entity. And um, yeah, people do it often. So when you intentionally do it, it's it's the action of intentionally connecting with someone. So for me, it's like, all right, Merlin, I'd like to connect with you, and I'd like you to move through me any messages or any energies that you feel would help me in my health at this time. So that's in a roundabout way, that's how I define channeling.
And when you hear it, is it in your voice? Is it in Merlin's voice, or what is
Oh,
the
that's a good question. Um, yeah, there is a distinct voice change, and that's been something I've been really trying to identify more, because I've noticed sometimes in my channeling, my ego can like sneakily step in, and it can start to confuse me. And I'd be like, wait a minute, am I really in channel or is that my ego?
Mm-hmm.
And the ego has a particular voice. I have a particular voice. And then some of the other things I have a particular voice. Um, and really I'm more checking with the feeling. Like, does this feel like me? Is this me or is this something else? And then that's usually my radar if I'm in channel or not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I was curious, what are the limits of channeling? Is there anything that you can't get insights on, or is it just, I'm just
Mm.
curious, what is the, yeah,
Yeah.
what can you take it?
Well, I've been trying to like, so more recently I've been connecting with this spirit guide. His name is I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Maharishi
Mm-hmm.
Sasaruta, I believe. And he was an actual living person. Um, in India, I think like 500 BC. That might be incorrect as well, but he specifically came to me to help me with my health. And so I've been trying to like get specific information because right now he's just telling me, he's like, you need to activate your body, you need to um, eat better food. And I'm like, okay, let's see. What else? What food can I have? And so sometimes there's a block for me where I don't allow myself to like get specific information, you know? So in that sense, yeah, there is sometimes a limit to what I can receive. And then sometimes like I've done readings for people where the information is just so fluid, like there's no way I could have known things about that person. And so really just depends like how open I am and what's going on for me personally, the amount of information I've access to.
Yeah. Channeling and reading for yourself seems like trying to bite your own teeth almost. It's just
Yeah.
like it's a lot easier to go with someone else than your
Mhm.
own self.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like when you can read it for somebody else because there's no bias. Like you're just, I don't know you. So it makes it a lot easier for me to channel for you because I don't know anything about you. But for me, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Am I saying that because I know this part of my past, or am I saying this because this and that? Yeah, there's a lot of like potential influences that can get in the way of channeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that for sure in my own experience.
Yeah. Do you have any like specific guides that you work with?
No, I have the animal spirits, I feel like comes through more than people. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had any people come through. And I guess for me, I feel like I've we have 5 layers of consciousness. We have like our waking state, and then below that we have our unconscious, and then below that we have our collective unconscious. And then back at your waking state, you have the no mind and then super consciousness. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just try and get into an innocent, no sense state. And then from that place, I'll ask whatever the question is or whatever I want insights on. And then that's tapping into the super consciousness. I'll visualize a golden circle and see, typically it's like symbols, and I'll get a
Mm-hmm.
symbol. And from that, I'll just kind of roll and it'll
Mm-hmm.
just keep coming.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's kind of how I was taught to tap into it.
Wow. That's a cool process.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, something that's coming to me right now too is I have been not grounded for a lot of my life. And that has been like important for me to practice while in channel as well.
Mm,
Because if I'm always up here, it's gonna be a little overwhelming. You know, if I'm always gonna be in spirit, there's gonna be so much going on.
mm-hmm.
And being in my body has been like one of the hardest things to practice while channeling because you have to be in your body,
Mm-hmm.
meaning you have to be connected. You don't have, I mean, you're up here, right? But like being comfortable in your body, I feel like is important. And you're so freaking grounded. Are you a earth sign? Are
Air
you
sign, air and earth mostly.
an earth? Yeah. Yeah, you just have this natural groundedness about you.
Yeah, I need to climb up into the air
Yeah.
more than I'm very, yeah, I feel
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a lot of water. I have a lot of water in my chart. Yeah.
How did you find astrology? How did that enter your life?
Um, how did I find astrology? I don't know. I probably picked it up. I started really going deeply into spirituality and all the other facets of it probably in 2019, and I probably picked it up there. And since then I've met lots of people with all kinds of astrological knowledge, and I just found it as like a really good like self-discovery tool, like so affirming in
Mm-hmm.
ways. And also sometimes like very limiting as well. Like I don't feel like there's really anything that can fully describe you as like a complex being. You know, I think it's a good like guiding point that can guide you into understanding yourself more, but certainly not going to explain like everything, you
Yeah.
know.
I think it's like your body. It's like it's there. You need to take care of it. It has certain limitations, but then you can also transcend it. It's not the end all be all. It's like,
Right, right, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. I was
there's
not a believer in astrology per se until I had one of my 7 gram mushroom trips alone in the mountains. And
Mm,
I saw the zodiac in the
oh,
stars. I felt like we were in this brain, and it just
whoa.
clicked for me like, oh, it's like not even deniable. Like,
Uh-huh.
and so then after that, I started looking into it and it all resonated. But
Yes.
I was a hater before that.
Understandable. Like it's, I mean, you try to tell someone who's, you know, not in this world that, yeah, the planets actually have an influence over your like personality and all that. They're like, what?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say bullshit than
Yeah, right. Then
get it.
actually look deeper into it. But I do find it fascinating, you know, because I try to think about like, how would I respond to someone who doesn't believe in like astrology? How would I like explain it to them? And I think the way I would start would be, well, gravity has effect over us on Earth, and we can't see it. We can feel it. We can't see it. And I feel like with how everything has energy, and the positions of the stars at a time create some sort of like energetic like algorithm or math. And when that particular formation of energy is projected onto Earth at the time that you were born, will have like a unique
Yeah, it's like
effect on
your
you.
thumbprint. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thumbprint. That's a good way to describe it.
It's like your unique, yeah, whatever the energy is with at that time.
Yeah,
And
right.
we're in this brain, our
Yes. And the way
cosmic
the Earth
brain.
was tilted, and like there's so many other factors. Yeah, it's super
Mhm.
fascinating. But I haven't done any. I don't know like a whole lot, but I know like the bare essentials of it.
And I don't think some people are not supposed to believe in it. Like I
Mhm.
heard one story, there was like two astrologers, they were like obsessed with astrology, and they had this kid, and the daughter was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't believe in it. And it was like in her chart that she didn't believe in astrology. And it's just like,
Oh, whoa. Whoa, that is great. Imagine trying to tell her that too, you know? Oh, in
yeah.
your chart, it actually says you're not supposed to believe in this. So that makes sense why you don't believe.
Yeah. She was like, I don't want to believe in it anyways. Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Do you know anything about human design?
a little bit. After I did a couple of those animal totems, everybody said like my human design is this. And I was like,
Mm,
all right, I'll dive into it. And I
uh-huh.
got a reading. And yeah, I'm a 5-1 emotional projector.
Oh, I am an emotional projector as well. I'm a 6'2". Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And I'm just like, now that I know that about you, just all the things that you've experienced in your past, it's just like as a projector are intense, even more intense, I feel like, for a projector than it would be for any other human design. Wow.
I have two motors, root and spleen, I think. So I have like a lot of energy to like move through stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a lot.
That's
And
a lot.
when I first heard like I was a projector, I was like, I want to be a manifester. I want
I
to
thought the same thing.
but totally different path.
Yeah, I was like, I know, like I work for a manifesting generator and love her to death, but it's hard to keep up sometimes, not gonna lie. And I'm just like, damn, at least I wish I was like a generator, you know, at the very minimum. But no, I really do love my design, and we don't live in a projector world at this time. And
Hmm.
so I have to keep reminding myself of that, of like, well, that's for them. I'm creating a life that is more full of rest, specifically, you know.
Rest and surrender. It's
Rest.
almost like you don't really control your destiny in a way. It's kind of like the universe has your back and you just trust what
Yes.
shows up,
Yes,
which
exactly.
is an interesting way to be.
No, very very contradicting for some people. Sometimes me, I'm just like, yeah, there are days where I'm just like, God damn it. I hear you. I'm supposed to surrender, but God damn it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
frustrating.
It is. It is a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I was actually gonna ask you like some advice for projectors because it is such a non-projector world trying to navigate that
Yeah.
space. I was
Yes.
wondering.
Oh my gosh. Well, I could only speak from my experience. I mean, the biggest thing for me has been dedicating time to rest and listening to my body when it wants to rest and not guilt tripping myself for resting. Because there are some days where I need to rest longer than I have time for, you
Yeah,
know?
there's stuff that you have to do. Like if you have a day job,
Right,
your
exactly.
whole day is
Yeah.
meat.
Yes.
You get home and you
Yes.
just want to sleep.
Right. And so like prioritizing rest, and for me, resting is not laying down and then doom scrolling on my phone for an hour. Like put the phone down, close your eyes for 20 minutes, see how you feel. If you still need more rest, continue to close your eyes. Um, Another thing too is definitely be careful of the crowds you hang around as well. Just because we're sponges, you know, so we're very sensitive to people. And if you're hanging around people who make your nervous system like on fire, like girl, you need to find some new people, you know, or
Mhm.
not spend as much time around those people who are like very fiery, like activators for your nervous system. Um,
Mhm.
and then because I think we hold so much, like there needs to be like an outlet for you to like just like release, because we hold on to a lot of people's stuff sometimes unknowingly. And so if you have some sort of activity that allows you to release it, like for me it's art, it's also yoga, working out too, like is very helpful to just kind of like burn things away in my body.
Mhm.
I'd say that's a really good start for projectors.
Yeah. I think that is the first thing you can do is make sure your body and mind are where they should be.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The biggest thing that helped me there was the Four Doctors from Paul Chek. He's a
Mm,
he's a wizard for sure. He's an interesting
cool.
cat.
Mhm.
And he has a whole institute. But basically, you got to work out, you got to work in, you got to eat right, and you
Yeah.
got to do something creative. I kind of
Yes.
switch that. He calls it happiness, but I feel like creativity is
Mm.
more
Yes.
important for me. And as long as it's like a wheel, every time you do that, your
Mhm.
wheel's rolling. And if you do three, it kind of gets a little chunkier, and then two,
Yes. Yes.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interchangeable, you know. Um, yeah, actually, I quit my job in August, and I have a living situation where I don't have to worry about rent or utilities for hopefully 2 years, and that's been huge for me, because now I'm like literally creating a routine that is perfect for my energy process.
Mhm.
Um, I know a lot of people don't have the privilege of doing that, but um, it's possible. It is possible for people. Mm.
Yeah, it'll show up if you need it.
Yeah. Right.
Like
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
was busy working, and then yeah, I just had my ACL reconstructed. So now I'm just kind
Yeah.
of in my own world for a little bit. So I
Yeah.
get to work out in the morning or do ice baths, breath work, and
Hmm. I still have not done an ice bath before. I
you want to
re
talk about clearing your energy.
Yeah, I know. I miss seeing the videos of you doing it, and I've seen other people do it too, and I've heard it's just like so good.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
would find a pond today.
Yeah. I guess I could. It is kind of cold today. I probably
Oh,
should.
it's cold enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I have 100-gallon tank, and every morning I get out there with a stick, break the ice, and
Oh my God,
all you gotta do is 2 or 3 minutes.
man. Oh my gosh, that makes me so uncomfortable, but I know that means I need to do it. What have you like, what has Like, have you noticed any I'm sure you have, like what kind of shifts have you noticed in your body and your mind? Like what have been the effects of it?
It's like the dopamine rush that you need to not care about little things. Like you just feel so good. You feel
Mhm.
like satisfied in your day.
Mhm.
Um, it gets you to learn how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable and accept the like your body is screaming like, what are we doing? You can get out of this right now.
Yeah.
But here you are accepting it with gratitude that
Mm. Mhm.
you're in this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so yeah, if I didn't injure my knee, I don't know if I'd still be doing ice baths. So there's a weird little gratitude for the knee
Yeah, right.
breaking.
Yeah.
I started doing it in jujitsu just because like your body is like wiped, and that sucks all the inflammation out, gives you all this rejuvenating energy, cold shock proteins, and all this
Mm.
good stuff for your body. And so you can get back out there the next day way
Oh,
easier.
wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. You say it like that. I imagine because I see like football players do it. I never knew why, but yeah, that makes sense. The inflammation.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. The first one I did post surgery, it was like my bone, they did took a piece of my shin bone out
Huh?
and a piece of my kneecap. And so
Oh
my
my
shin bone
God.
was all like inflamed. Like I could just like put indents in it. So
Uh-huh.
the first
Oh,
time I was in there, it was just, I could just feel it just sucking all that inflammation out for the first
wow.
time. Like I'm sure it'd be a lot more inflamed if I didn't do that. But
Yeah.
right now it feels pretty back to normal.
Wow. Did you break your shin and your kneecap?
Broke my ACL,
But your OCL, that's right. You said
and
that.
then they
Damn.
did a patellar graft. So the front of that front tendon, they cut that out, take two little pieces of bone, shove it in through the back, and now
Oh
you
my
have an ACL
God.
again.
Oh my God. Damn. That's intense.
Yeah, that was probably the most pain I've ever been.
Yeah.
Breaking
Oh
it.
God. I can't imagine. Literally force you to slow down. Like you're literally not doing anything for a while.
Yeah, and I'm already trying to like do more shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They said 12 weeks is when people will rupture it most likely because it's like you're healed enough to move and run, but it's not, it's kind of like a scaffold. It has to regrow. It takes like 6 months to a year to really
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah. Oh
So I got
my
to be
gosh.
careful still.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Has that been, have you noticed like the times when you want to get up and to start doing stuff? Do you have to fight yourself to like slow down?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the pain tells me sit your ass down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like, yeah. And I do not want another surgery and go through all that again because the second time it doesn't take as well and all that. And so it's like,
Right. Yeah.
better just take it easy.
Yeah. Sit your ass down. I have been blessed to not have a lot of physical injuries in my life, knock on wood. There was there was one time I almost this I don't want to get too graphic, but I mean I split my big toe in half on some sheet metal once playing baseball with my friends, and I was wearing sandals like a dum dum, and it hurt so bad I didn't even feel it until I ran back, and like my friends were like mortified at my foot, and then I looked at my foot, and then all the pain just like surged into my body upon looking at it. I've had a couple surgeries, but yeah, nothing like that. That's like next level. Damn.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not even that bad compared to, I mean, Buffalo, he's still working with two busted knees. It's just like to not be able to move is such a expanding experience because it's like you're really working from a different level.
Yes. I'm curious, since this injury, has there been any like animal spirits that have made their presence more known because of the injury?
Mm, I've been tapping into the dragon,
Mhm.
tapping into like the whole totem that I have.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, and right now I'm in the snake era, and snake is all about enduring snake bites
Uh,
and
uh-huh.
shedding skin. And I mean, yeah, the last couple of years have been a doozy. Like
Really.
just getting hammered, crushed. And I have like no idea who I even am anymore. Like I can't train
Mm.
jujitsu.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
all these, got a kid now, all
Mhm.
these things where I'm
Yeah.
just
Wow.
like starting fresh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Massive transformation time for you.
yeah, biggest transformation in my life probably so far.
Yeah. Wow.
And probably
Wow.
will be my
That's
life.
saying a lot based off of where you come from.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
that's where the walk without feet name comes from, because that is being in the world without being in it.
Huh?
It is being the channel. It is the synergy between masculine and feminine, material, spiritual, the whole.
Wow. I
It's
love
almost
it.
like I have to be here.
Yes.
Because I'm
Yes.
just gonna get crushed again if I try and do
Right.
anything other than what I'm supposed to do.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's inspiring. Yeah, thank you for saying it like that. It's given me some good affirmations about my journey as well. Yeah, I feel like I need to look back at the reading that you gave for me for my animal. I think oh, I can't remember what I'm in, but kind
How
of
old are you?
similar. What's that?
How old are you?
29.
You're a raccoon.
Raccoon. What's the raccoon? Remind me.
The little bandit that is all about the community.
Oh, community.
Robin Hood.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can see how I've been doing that for myself. Because when I think of Robin Hood, I think of the shadow work. There's been a lot of unchecked shadow work in myself, and it's like there's all these like uncast checks in my shadow. All of this money that's there that is just laid, it's just been there. And that's what the shadow work is. And when I do the shadow work, it's like I'm cashing those checks, or like the Robin Hood is kind of sweeping up and taking that energy. And I've noticed that the more that I'm sitting with myself and sitting with all the parts of myself, so like my inner community, there's been I've just noticed like there's been a lot of like not even subtle shifts in my physical reality, but big shifts. And it's like I'm taking care of my frequency and my shadow in a way where it's like, my energy can finally, because I've let go of some of this stuff, I cashed in those checks. I can now receive what is already there for me that I've been waiting for, you know? So I was focused on
Mhm.
my inner community and cashing those checks. Interesting. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. That pulls some things in perspective for me. Mm,
Mhm. And it is like going into that invisible space and just trusting, enter the kingdom of heaven, and don't
right,
worry, the outside will take care of itself.
right, right. Yes. Yeah, that's been huge too. Yeah, because I've not been comfortable in my body. And it's just, been telling myself like probably the past year, it's like, oh, I'm just like, I'm ready to like go into my inner world and like take care of myself. But I really haven't. Like, I still wanted to be in sort of that mindset of like, well, you say you're ready, but you're not ready. You're making these excuses. So clearly you're not ready. And now starting this year, it's like, okay, now I'm legit taking it seriously, and I'm surrendering to what's there. And we're just feeling what's there.
Hmm.
And I'm just observing. I'm actively participating by observing. And it's been huge. A lot less hard than I thought it was going to be as well.
Hmm. I think that's the only place real transformation does come from, is from awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can decorate your ego and do all these things that
Right.
doesn't really change you,
Right.
doesn't change your core, who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
but going into whatever you're dealing with awareness changes
Right.
everything.
Right. Yeah. Cause like literally everything and anything that ever was or is like right now. And so where you have your awareness, talking to myself here, I'm like, why are you focusing on all this like junk or like this egocentric energy right now? Like there's all this other shit here. Why are we not like expanding our awareness into all these other things? Literally everything you can think of is like right in front of you in an energetic stance. I'm not saying like, oh, there's $1 million like right in front of me. I mean, honestly, if I think in abundance terms, like depending on how I view it, it's like, yeah, this is $1 million. Like I have $1 million all around me, maybe not in the physical manifested form, but I yeah, it's the awareness. Like why are you so pigeonholed or uh pinhole, or I don't know what the term is, but so narrow focused on all of these egocentric like negative things, you know?
Hmm. And that's part of the deconditioning that you're talking about. That's our whole society is sick and focused on
Yeah.
how do I make money? How do I
Right.
get
Yeah.
power? How do I exploit people? How do I
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
and
Yeah.
it never ends. And then
Yeah.
you're rewarded for it by the society because it's all backwards.
I know. That's been a really hard for me in my journey, is to embody these practices of just awareness and like what is possible. And now that I feel like I've elevated like my frequency, and then just seeing what I surrounded myself with and all the things going on in the world, it's like so depressing. It's so dark because you just
It's
see
hard.
it's really, really hard. And I wish we'd talk about that more in spirituality, but that's where mindfulness has really been a game changer for me, is like I can observe all these dark things around me, and I can feel all of the suffering that's going on around me, but I don't have to personally identify with it. Like,
Mhm.
and I think that's where a lot of people get like tripped up, is they start to identify themselves with the experiences that they're having, and they lose themselves in their experiences. And just by the way that society is set up right now, it's just perpetuated. you know
Mhm.
it like forces you to perpetuate, well, I don't want to say forces you, but it really encourages you to perpetuate the suffering, because you're already in suffering. So why don't you just suffer a little bit more? You're never going to get out of it. So why don't you just keep you know keep
Mhm.
you to identify yourself in that way?
Yeah, it's all about attachment. There's
Mhm.
a crazy. I love Rumi. He's one of my favorite
Mhm.
poets. One of his
Yeah.
poetry, just like there's a famine going on, all these people are dying, and then the mystic is like in the corner just laughing, and everybody's like shunning him, like, "Why are you laughing?" Like he's like, "It's God's dream. This is what he wants." Like, what do you like? Why are you attached to like this ephemeral, ethereal illusion? It's
Mhm.
just relax. It's not even real.
Yes.
So
Right.
like,
Right. Right. Like, yeah,
yeah, you can get caught up in it, but it can
yeah.
also just be in it without being touched by it. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
the whole thing.
There's this guy, his name is Daryl Anka. You might be familiar with him, but he channels this extraterrestrial being named Bashar.
Oh yeah, I know Bashar.
I have gone down so many Bashar rabbit holes, and he talks about the same thing of um not not identifying or falling into the loop of negativity. And so when you're talking about like the famine, it's like people are, yes, the famine is happening and that's real, but you don't have to stay in that suffering energy. Like there's so much more. And I feel like the more that people tap into in those dark situations, the more they're inviting their energy for positivity and higher frequency energy to come in. Um,
Hmm.
and it's a lot more complicated than that. And I'm definitely generalizing it, but yeah, I think the reason why we're just seeing so much like negativity in the world is people they're accepting it. They're just like, yeah, this is what's going on. This is the only thing that's happening. So
Well, I think
I'm
it also has to crumble. I mean, it's real.
right.
Like
Yes.
the same way I got destroyed by life, like right now all the systems are getting destroyed so that something can grow out of it.
Yes.
And so we have to go through this death.
You know, yeah, people have been like saying like, "Oh my gosh, things are getting really bad." I'm like, "Good." Like we need the crumbling of all these systems in order to build something new. Like that's been kind of like the little rebel in me is just like, I'm so excited things are like crumbling. Thank God they're crumbling. I'm ready to get over this bullshit, you know.
Mhm. And it's gonna be 500 years. That's the crazy part. We're
Yeah.
just in the beginning of the crumble.
Right. So
Probably won't see it through in this
yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that I will at least maybe in spirit form come and check in and see what's going on in 500 years, you know?
I mean, yeah, you might come back and
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah, it'd be cool to like bookend my human experience. Like, okay, I'm living this life as Alex. I'm seeing the beginnings of this. Okay, I'll come in like 500 years and then live a life and see what happened. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that would be
But
cool.
the butterfly effect of your actions.
Yeah, right. Right. Oh, that would be cool.
I think that's kind of how it works. Do
Hmm.
you think we take anything from this life into the next life? Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
and it's not our material stuff, but it's the awareness, the
Yeah,
consciousness we develop.
right. The consciousness. Yes, I totally believe that. And I feel like that's why some people have um, like irrational fears. That's like one
Mhm.
symptom of that. It's like why am I afraid of coffee mugs? Probably because you maybe were bashed in the head with one in another life. I don't know. That's just an example, but yeah, I totally believe consciousness transfers over to the next life.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It seems to be the only thing that we take,
Right, right,
if if we even take that.
right,
But
right. Which I think we do.
it
I
seems
really
like
think like
yeah.
as spirits, as soul energy, like our goal is to evolve. Well, our goal is to really be whatever we want it to be, but I feel like evolution is an innate aspect of universal consciousness. So it would make sense that we would take our experiences into the next life to like continue to integrate that experience into the next one.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, that was when I did that 5 gram experience. One of the things, I was looking in the mirror and I was like, "You've been here for 10,000 suns. Like, calm down. Like, you've
Mm.
been here for so long."
Mm.
Not even, and that was not like out of the blue. Didn't, but it did feel like, all right, I can.
Wow.
I came here for a reason.
Yeah.
Never ends, and just
Yeah.
buckle up.
Right. Yeah. Just continue to have your seatbelt on is
Yeah,
all. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So have you done like past life reading before?
I haven't, and every time I like get into the like that kind of thing, it always falls apart. So I don't
Mm,
know if I wasn't supposed to see it yet, kind
maybe
of thing.
not. Yeah.
But I would definitely someday love to get into past lives and
Mm,
yeah, all that stuff's
yeah.
fascinating.
I'm I'm very fast. I've had a couple people just in like nothing like in depth, but have told me a little bit about my past life and some of it has resonated, some of it hasn't. So I'd be just curious to like actually do something in depth and get some like real information about it because it
Mhm.
is super fascinating and I think that there's a lot of benefit to things that we can learn from a last past life into this lifetime because like for you I'm so curious like it was your past life experiences getting your reading has like crumbled so obviously like you're not ready to receive that information yet and perhaps um and once it's I have a feeling and just this is what I'm intuitively picking up is when you are ready like there's going to be like a full body resonance for you and it's going to like I feel like a lot of things are going to be affirmed and it's just going to like shoot you really high.
Mhm.
Hope so at least that's just what I'm intuitively like feeling.
Mhm. If it always feels like I have these feelings and intuitions that something is a certain way, like the projector thing. I always knew when I get invited to things, that it works out. And when I try and force things, like trying to be a flower salesman and be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
don't you want this flower? And the
Huh?
bee's just like, no, I come to you. It is not, you don't fucking go to them. Like,
Yeah, right.
just things like that where I'm sure it'll be like, hey, I kind of knew that, but this does affirm
Mm.
and just like amplify.
Yes. Yeah, waiting for the invitation, like the surrendering. You just got to surrender. The invitations just come to you. Don't force the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just by putting myself out there, like that's how I got invited to the Kansas City community. Was
Mm. Hmm.
getting invited. I didn't search for it. I mean, I kind of was searching for some kind of space like that, but it yeah, it came in the form of an invitation. So,
Mm.
and then it worked out perfectly. It was awesome.
Yeah. Have you been back? Are you living? You're in Colorado right now, aren't you?
Moved to Illinois last summer. So,
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. What pulled you to Illinois?
The baby. We have 44 acres here. Just built a little
Oh, oh,
house.
wow.
It's cool to have a little private forest to do my
Mhm.
thing.
Oh my gosh. Sounds like a dream, honestly.
It's cool. It's in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of like why I'm reaching out to people on the internet
Uh,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
actually get connection with people.
Yep, yep,
But
yeah.
I kind of like it that way too. It's nice to just be in
Mhm.
my own space, do my own thing.
Yes. I would say that's kind of a projector's dream, honestly. It's kind of living
Hmm.
out there. But yeah, I know as projectors too, we have a hard time like generating our own energy. And so having those connections with people also like really important. But I could see just like walking in the forest and like getting your energy from nature spirits and just being out there has been really nice.
And I got invited here too. Like I didn't ask.
Oh wow, really?
Parents invited me to like come back and stuff. So it was
Wow.
like
Wow.
probably the, the last things I really wanted to do, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, it is pretty awesome and
Mhm.
really privileged to be able to have this space. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you are living with your parents?
yeah, and the
Yeah.
same. They have a house. I got a house. We're building our house, so there's like 3 buildings on the property now, and
Yeah. I'm living with my parents too. That's why I'm like, oh yeah, we're kind of like experiencing kind of the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not ideal, but it is nice. I do.
Hmm. Could not have parents to
Yeah.
talk to. Like
Right.
that's a privilege in itself. So
Amen. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like there's something else I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, have you been back to KC like to experience any more?
the last time was 2 summers ago when I did that art show at the Cafe Gratitude.
Oh, right, right, right. Yes, yes.
After that, that's when we found out we were pregnant, had a baby coming, and so then it was just a complete shit show from there.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. Have you
But in
like
the best way.
have you made any more time for your art?
Art kind of comes and goes, to be honest. I feel like I need to be in such a good place and have extra energy to
Mhm.
even wanna make art. It's so weird. Like I'll fall in love with it and do it all day, every day for like months, and then not touch it or do it or
Yep,
anything for months
yep,
or years.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, interesting.
It's always been that, yeah, that way. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, it kind of turns on and off.
Mm,
Other priorities to kind of take over and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But it is a great therapy, that's for sure.
it
It probably
is.
would help.
Yeah, I agree. And this is just speaking from my experience, but might help you too. I've noticed like as projectors, our capacity, we're kind of like um what's the word? A jack of like many trades. And so the way energy wants to move through us, it can't be like confined to one thing, has to move.
Hmm.
Creative energy has to move in different areas. So I don't know, might be what you're experiencing too.
Yeah, that resonates for sure. Like when I was 20, I was like, I'm only going to be an artist. But then I was like, but I'm also going to do jujitsu, and I'm also going to go
Yeah.
climb mountains, and I'm also going to
Yes.
just
Yeah.
go on
Yeah.
and on. And yeah.
Uh-huh.
So now it feels like I need to connect with people. It feels like I need to use my throat more and
Mhm.
express myself that way more than
Mhm.
being alone in a studio making art.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to breathe that fire, dragon energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotta breathe it
Mhm.
out for sure.
Yes. Yes. I want to receive your fire.
We're here.
Yes. Um, yeah. Yeah. I relate as well. Like theater was a huge way for huge outlet for me too. And honestly, I feel like that was one of the ways I was introduced to channeling as well, was through theater. Because I felt like some of the shows that I was in, even touching back to like the past life stuff, some of the characters that I would play would represent something related to like a past life that I had, just because of how well I embodied the character and some of the like super resonating things that the character was going through that like for some reason touched a particular emotional bone in my body without any explanation of anything happening in this life. I'm like, why am I like so like into this character so much? um but I think a lot of people when they do like theater like that, it's when they're really committed to something, they are pulling energy in and they're able to like embody like the character.
For sure.
um, so that was huge for me. But yeah, so theater, I mean, art. I have this thing with like organization too. Like I love organizing things, and that's one way my energy moves through me. um but yeah, I've been trying to, I don't know, jujitsu keeps getting brought up. I think some sort of martial arts is probably something my energy wants to like explore more of in the future. So I'm just putting that out there and see what we'll see what nibbles at that.
It's it's beautiful. Just don't let your ego get in the way.
Right,
That's what
right.
blew my knee out. I was trying
Yeah.
to prove myself, and then instead
Oh,
of usually it's just play. Like as long as you approach it as play,
uh-huh.
no goals, no
Yeah,
results, just purely play.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah. That's what I would hope I would get into, you know. Yeah, my ego, he loves the show. He loves the spotlight sometimes, you know. It's also
And
the reason why I like theater.
when someone wants to choke your neck, it's hard to turn it off.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's like massive ego training.
It is. It really is. Yeah. You need it, but you also did got to turn it off.
Right. Yeah, because you don't have a lot of time to like think about things. You're just kind of, I feel like a lot of, isn't it like muscle? A lot of it's like muscle memory, isn't it?
Oh,
Like,
for sure. It comes down to the point where you don't think. It's just like
yeah.
tying your shoe.
Mhm.
And if
Mhm.
there's like a weird knot in your lace, you like figure out a way to tie it with the weird knot kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
every role is yeah, its own thing.
Very instinctive. The ego doesn't have a lot of time. If you're, yeah, I can see just like the ego just being like, okay, well, we don't have a lot of time to think, so let me just step in the front seat and
You're like, I
steer.
gotta win versus I
Yeah,
gotta play. That's
right,
the
right,
difference.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend it. It's awesome.
Mhm.
The first year or two suck.
Yeah. Oh God, I
Somebody's
bet.
the hammer and somebody's the nail. Always the nail.
Oh my
Always,
gosh.
always.
Yeah, yeah.
And until like 6 months, a year goes by, new people come in, then you get to be the hammer for them. That's
Yeah.
slow. That's why it takes 10 years to get your black belt.
Wow. 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 That's a good way to explain it. I never heard it like that. Yeah, and see that's part of my hesitancy towards it is like like physical like wrestling and like engagement with that with specifically men like is very intimidating for me.
Hmm.
That's like one of my reasons I'm like hesitant about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still very much healing a lot of my fear. I have like a fear towards like heterosexual, like men who are like very masculine. So, and I think that's another reason why I'm being invited into it is to kind of alchemize that fear.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tool. I'll probably get back into it someday, but I have a feeling it'll be like a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
do other things.
Yeah. Especially with, yeah, just like your injury, you wouldn't like risk jumping right back into it, you
Mhm.
know? Yeah. Is there anything like calling you now, um, in replacement of jujitsu? Like, is there anything sticking out to you?
Uh, just making videos, connecting with people, doing a podcast, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting recognized for who I am so I can actually
Mm-hmm.
take my projectorness to the next level.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's great. I'm here for that. I'm taking that too. I feel like it's time for a lot of us wizards to kind of get into that. Like now is the time. I also heard 2027 is going to be the year for projectors. Like
mhm,
manifesting generating world is going to kind of dissolve and we're going to kind of step into a world for projectors. So it kind of feels like you're kind of sensing that now. You're preparing for it. So when that time comes, you're like, you've already put your voice out there, you've already been heard, you've already been seen. And so now you're just like 2027 rolls around, you're like ready to pop off.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of synchronicities. Have you ever done your was it numerology like card reading? Have you ever done that?
No.
Just take your birthday and then every birthday has associated with a card.
Oh, yes, I have done that.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes.
think I'm a nine of clubs.
Oh, you do it with like actual playing cards. I haven't done that, but I've added my birthday up. Interesting. So what's
Yeah.
the next clubs?
Nine clubs is magician, completion energy.
Hmm.
And it a lot of them say for whatever reason, like I haven't seen that anywhere else, but it always says like you'll be frustrated with your career till you're 36, typically.
Oh, interesting.
And 36 is I'll be 36 right before 27.
Oh, whoa.
So it's like that would be nice to actually be
Yeah.
doing my work.
Wow, that aligned like really beautifully.
Yeah, in a weird
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
And my next animal totem is hawk, and that's all the messenger. So I do want to
Mm,
use my voice and do want to talk and connect and spread the
mm,
message.
mm, hmm. Oh, cool. Damn. Yeah, that's really affirming. I'm gonna do that for myself, but the magician makes sense for you, Kella,
Mm-hmm.
especially because you're in Snake right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so with the completion, like you'll finally be done shedding all the skin. And then you'll be, I mean, and snakes are so earthbound too. And then you're like going into hawk, which is like the opposite. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna grow wings and like take flight. Wow. Dude, that's gonna be exciting time for you.
Yeah, I am tired of being earthbound snake,
Yeah.
shedding skin to be. But I know it's all part of the process. It's the
Right.
master plan.
Yeah. All a part of the master plan. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, enduring these snake bites is been a journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of venom. Lots of venom. You're like alchemizing as well.
Emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual. You're gonna get all these bites.
Yeah. Yeah. So overwhelming.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
but I do feel I'm finally coming out of it.
Yeah.
It was a while. I did isolate, didn't really want to be seen, didn't want to socialize or anything. It was just like, what is happening? Everything's just crumbling.
Right. Right. Well, it makes sense. Yeah, I feel like you definitely needed that isolation to like, process what was going on.
Hmm.
Makes sense. I'd probably do the same thing. Like, it'd be so overwhelming, so much questioning and confusion. Like, yeah, I need to go by myself for a hot minute and figure this shit out.
Hot 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And having that kid was, it brought up all my childhood wounds again, which I thought I dealt with,
Mm,
but
mm,
it just
wow.
brought it back to the surface in a
Wow.
major way.
Yeah, that's gonna be like that's gonna, I feel like, encourage a lot of transformation as well for you. I mean, having a kid is like, I don't have a kid, but I can imagine what it would be like. Like you're constantly seeing a reflection of your younger self, and you don't want to project all the feelings that you're feeling from your past onto your child, because your child is like triggering all these things in you. That's fucking hard. That is
It's a
difficult.
it's the most psychedelic thing I've ever
Yeah.
done. It's a 24/7 psychedelic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime you hear the kid or see her or think
Uh-huh.
about her and she's just there,
Uh-huh.
you're a little being of light. And you're just like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
it
That's
never
that's
ends. And
an
it's just,
intense way to describe it.
yeah.
Wow. Mhm.
And I met her in ceremony too. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
the first time I sat with Aya, she came to me in the stars.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Like, I'm coming in.
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
uh,
Yeah, how do you receive that at the
I just sat up like, what?
time? Oh my gosh. Did she like present herself? Like, could you actually see her too?
No, I didn't see her, but just felt her in the stars. Like, she's just up there and looking at me and saying, I'm coming in.
Wow. Wow. That's intense. Especially when you're not ready to have like a kid. You're just like,
Yeah, I got like $50 in my bank account.
yeah, but I'm not ready for you yet.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That is gorgeous though. The gorgeous experience. Like see
Hmm.
your kid, tell your kid coming and telling you that come in. Wow. Yeah,
Didn't know who it was with. I thought it was maybe with a different person than it was, and just totally like, what?
yeah. Wow. Wow. So how has it been? I mean, you said it's been like a psychedelic experience, but and I know that you've been like integrating your inner child work. Has there been anything like super huge insight that has like really shifted your mindset or consciousness?
I mean, it's every day. Talk to me tomorrow. I'll be like I said, it's 24/7. It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just constantly integrating, constantly like, and then I get to see my parents with the kid too. So I get
Mm.
to see how they were towards me. And it's just like,
Oh, right. That's a
why
trip.
why are you doing that to that kid? Or
Right.
like,
Oh man, that's a trip. Oh my gosh.
it just
Wow.
doesn't end. But it's in the best way possible. Like, it is everything I need to be reborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which is super exciting. Like that's really exciting to like have this gift of your child to be able to help you to transform. Like that's a fucking gift.
and yeah, she's so like magical too. Like, just go outside and she's just at instantly at peace. Like, she just loves the trees, loves nature. You just feel that from, you're like, why am I not like
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
happy to be outside?
Right. Right.
She's such a
Right.
great teacher.
Oh, wow. I
It's
love that.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who she's very much in the spiritual world too, and she has a kid, and she basically describes it how you're describing it too, like biggest teacher she's ever had, you know, teaches her how to like embody that innocence and to let things go and just enjoy the beauty of the world and literally see the world through the eyes of a child is a gift.
It's so fresh and clean. There's just
Mhm.
no jadedness there.
Yeah, yeah, no judgment.
And then you're not sleeping. Your schedule's gone. There's
Right,
no,
right.
it's not about you.
Uh-huh.
You have
Right.
this new meaning, this new like bigger than you energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had to sum up the last 2 years, it would be, the great way is not difficult for those with no preference.
A great way. It's not difficult for those. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's good.
whatever you think, whatever you prefer,
Uh,
just throw it out the window
uh,
because it has
yeah.
nothing to do with what you're living.
Right. Yeah, that definitely touches back to what we were talking about before, just how people limit their experiences to suffering, you know? Like, yeah, if you think that's what life is, like, girl, you are beyond mistaken, you
Hmm.
know?
Whether you're in the valley or the peak, don't get attached to either one. Like, enjoy the valley for what it is,
Right.
enjoy the peak for what it is, but don't, you're going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And don't worry about
Yeah.
what it looks like, what you think it'll be, and all that. It's just,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and as the world crumbles, I think that is the lesson, the projector message of like, it's not about your plan or your preferences at all,
Right.
because we're going to see some shit.
Right. Right. So again, yeah, just keep your seatbelt on is all we ask, you
Yep.
know? Yeah, another thing, talking about Bashar again, he talks about the greatest way that you can receive abundance is by releasing all expectations of how abundance is given to you. So a lot of people limit abundance to just money, or going to the peaks and the valleys. Oh my gosh, I'm going to see this beautiful peak and this beautiful valley, and I don't care anything in between. I just want to see the peak and the valley. It's like, okay, well, if you limit yourself to that, you're missing so much more. You're missing like the walk up towards the hill. You're missing like this beautiful, glade on the right. There's so much you're missing, and because you have such a fixed idea of how you want to have your experience, if you just surrender and allow yourself to open your gaze more, you're actually going to get a lot more.
And we think it has to be these big things
Right.
when it's really the small, like just the miracle of being alive is
Right.
insane. Just the
Right.
fact that you can wake up and have a cup of coffee
Yeah. Right.
is insane. Like, why
Yeah.
don't you enjoy it? Like when I give my little kid a little drink of water, she just whoop, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
lights up. Like, what was that? That was
Right.
drank some water. What? And you're like, why? It
Oh my
should all.
gosh.
It's only the little moments. The big moments are like
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah. We experience them, and it's never as big as we think it is, too. We make it so much bigger in our mind that when we actually experience it, it's like, oh, I'm not saying that all the time, but for me, most of the time, that's what it's like, you know. And I think about like how insane the body is. Like I've been doing a lot of body work, and I'm like, my body does a lot. Like it's legit an entire universe inside of me. And that has helped me to kind of integrate more gratitude into my life. I'm like, damn, these blood cells like can replicate without me having to think about it, or my organs function all together at once, and they all have these very specific function. It just is amazing when you actually think about it. It's actually pretty fucking amazing.
That's been a huge gestalt change for me too. Is when I'm sitting in meditation, I'll just be like, the universe is breathing you. You're
Mm.
not breathing. The universe is breathing you.
Yeah.
Become part of that wholeness. Like, sure, you
Yeah.
have your part, but the universe is beating your heart. You try and stop beating your heart with your mind. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
no, it's not about you controlling anything,
Yeah. Right.
but you think you have to. So, yeah, a lot of my meditation lately has been allowing the universe to breathe me, allowing
Yeah. Yes.
a
You
bigger.
just have to observe, really. You're just observing everything, and everything else just falls into place. Like
Mhm.
you just get to experience. You don't have to think so hard. Like just enjoy as much as you can.
Especially dealing with the shadow work kind of stuff. Like, let's say you're drinking too much. If you drink too much with awareness, it's gonna not be as satisfying. It's gonna
Right.
be like, but what you do is you get unconscious and you just go into this
Yeah.
unconscious mode of being.
Yes.
Whatever your issue, whatever shadow work you're trying to deal with, it's like try and do it with full awareness and it just loses all of its luster. It's just
Right.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why am I escaping into this?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, that's where like addiction comes in too. It's like, I'm gonna smoke all this weed until I have an experience. I'm gonna think about this experience so hard and how I want to get high and how I want to like be in this moment of smoking all this weed that you end up losing exactly what you're, it's so contradictory, you know?
It's all a paradox. That's
Yeah. Uh-huh.
it's all paradox. There's no set anything
Mm-hmm.
until you're aware of both. It's you
Yeah.
get lost in the other one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's where like instant gratification culture like really thrives in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're always like chasing after this gratifying, instant gratifying feeling, thinking that it's gonna like make us feel good, like we get that dopamine rush. But we have so many of these dopamine rush that it actually depletes our dopamine and like it defeated the whole purpose why we wanted that gratification in the first
And you're
place.
addicted to that shortcut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's been huge for me too. Like scrolling until I'm numb,
Scrolling
basically.
is so schizophrenic.
Yes,
You go from somebody that just like won some award to a bombing to like
I know. It's like,
somebody in a canoe. It's just like
oh my gosh, yeah, it's like traumatizing and just it's yeah, it's so awful for the nervous system. And I'm even thinking from like a projector standpoint as well. It's like we soak in so much than the other designs that that sort of scrolling is even worse for our energy and our nervous system because we're actually receiving a lot more.
Mhm.
And based off of whatever content you're receiving. Honestly, I don't like you can watch all the good, like, there is some content that I follow that's like, like Bashar and there's channeling and there's like yoga and there's like community based living content. But it's like you scroll through that and it's just that one video you see where it's like a bombing that like just destroys your energy. For me personally, it just like defeated the whole purpose of like scrolling through all those good videos. Yeah, yeah, something I'm actively learning how to modulate.
Mhm. Just stepping back from like removing any social media, any news, anything outside of what you would naturally see is such a trip.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like all these things that is being said is happening when you look outside. It's like the birds are just chirping or whatever. It's just
right,
like not,
right, right,
but
right.
we're totally in this new connected way of,
Yes,
and
yeah,
it's good or bad. I mean, it's not necessarily bad in itself because we
yeah.
are connecting, but
And I think people don't realize, like, as humans, we've never had access to this much information ever in this way. And we need to like chill because like this, we literally have never had access to all of this before. So you need to give yourself a break and step away from it for a
I
while.
think it does seem like a split's coming where
Mhm.
the one group is going to go into like the I Vision Pro
Oh,
world,
right.
and then the other version is going to go work on their garden.
Right. Yeah.
They're just a totally different.
Yeah.
It feels like that's coming.
Yeah. That's been kind of scary to see, like people walking around, literally looking through a lens. Um, I was in this show once, and it was about virtual reality, and it took place, I think, in like 2040, maybe 2035, I think. And basically, technology advanced so much that people could be hooked up to IVs and then like have, their headsets on and basically just like live in a bed their entire life hooked up with an IV and like a catheter. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
Matrix.
yeah. And we're already in the Matrix. So you're just like Matrix times two. It's like it's a little scary. Um, yeah, so I can see us going down that road, but I can also see the people who are like not in alignment with that, focusing more on like community living and working on their gardens and you know only using phones for like communication. That's what I'm like really desiring.
I think it was Ram Dass. He talked about was a prophet in India. He said someday there's going to come a time where you're going to walk outside and you'll be happy that you see a campfire, like a fire, and there's people there, it's gonna get to that point where
Yep. Yeah.
literally everything's gonna break down to the point where we're gonna have campfires, and you're gonna be just overjoyed that there's another person
Yeah.
that you can go talk to that has a fire.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one always hits me like
Yeah.
what we're about to drop into.
Yeah.
What abundance? Abundance is a campfire.
Yeah. I
Calm
know.
down.
Like we literally are gonna have to break it down to the old ways and let that be our starting point again.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's interesting too, because going back to astrology, we're in the age of Aquarius right now, which one of the aspects of that, it represents massive technological advancement. And so we're seeing that with like AI and, you know, the virtual reality, Apple Vision Pro and all that. And so it's like, are we going to use that technology to continue our attachment styles independent, like dependent on it? Or are we going to like figure out a way to integrate it in a holistic way and in a way that's so, because there's just so much of it, like there's too much of it. I think there's too much of this new technological advancement that people are like really becoming dependent on it. And I desire to like have an integration of it where it's like 20% ingrained into our society rather than right now, which I feel like it's like 80%. We are 80% reliant on all this technological stuff. I'd love to see it to 20%. I don't know if we'll ever see that in our lifetime, but
What if it was all free?
oh, see, hmm, I see. Part of me thinks that it would be worse. I want it to be free, but like, I don't know. I don't know.
No
That's like,
more, no more wars over the oil. That's fake. No
hmm,
more paying for electricity.
oh, I see what you mean
No
now.
more
Yeah, yeah,
like you just have a engine that runs on water, which we
yeah. Right.
kill all those people. They've done it,
Oh, I know.
and then we kill them.
Yeah, yeah,
But what if it was just, yeah, no more greed. You don't need to fight for rent.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's the technology where I'm like, we could do that
yeah.
easy. We just switched our whole
Right,
mindset.
right. Yeah, we're just so like focused on the hierarchical, like
Oh, it's just a boot
that's
stomping on your face.
right, right. Like I own this thing, so I'm gonna have people pay me because I'm the only one that has this thing.
And if you
And
don't agree,
really,
we're gonna kill you.
yeah, it's like it is literally that extreme.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, um, yeah. I want that. I really want that.
That feels like, yeah, I mean, yeah, when I think of Aquarius technology, it seems like more community based, more
Yeah,
open hearted, more free, more
yeah.
available, abundant.
Yeah, thank you for saying that because I've really just been on the other side of like AI is going to take over the world and people are going to like be hooking themselves up to virtual reality. So thank you for bringing that awareness into it.
Mm-hmm. That I can't stop thinking about that. That's all I think about is why are we
Yeah,
doing it this way? It's
right.
insane when we
Well,
could.
that sort of thinking, like we need that. Not only is it like thinking about it and creating ideas of how to actually manifest it, but like it's my belief that the more we start to think about those things, the more that energy gets integrated and expands outward, and the more likely it is to actually happen. So it's really important that these things are being talked about and thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. There's this show, it's called On Max, and it's about this, I think it's called The Garden. It's a documentary about this place called The Garden. And they're actually a commune in Missouri, and they're basically just showing you how to like live in a community where you're reliant on the land and you're reliant on growing your own food and building like housing structures and and I love that that's getting like popularized. Like they're like making like real-time documentaries about these things, really planting these in. Because I feel like people in the spiritual like realm and community, like these are things we've all like dreamt and desired, but now it's starting to get into mainstream where it's connecting people more to the idea of what could be possible for society. So I think
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, I do want to talk to a lot of those people on podcasts and like break down like what are the pros and cons, like where are you guys,
Yeah.
because it can get very culty very quickly.
Right. Yes.
That's the
Yes.
problem.
Sure can. Yes. You have to be, it's a very fine line between commune and cult.
Yeah, I want to know like what do you do, what don't you do?
Right. Right. Because a lot of those people who are like desiring that are desiring freedom, but there also has to be like there has to be rules, right? Like you can't just like let anybody do anything. Like there's got to be rules, and so it's in that rule making that it's like you have to be careful, be really careful.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, that's something I'm very curious about and very like, yeah, I want to do that, but also what can go wrong?
Yeah, yeah, it's important to know. And I feel like this is the time to really discover that as we're like progressing in the age of Aquarius in this 500-year cycle. Like we're really working out the kinks, I feel like, is what our generation is doing. We're just playing, discovering, trying to build the foundations. And that looks like what are the pros and cons of establishing something like this? Yeah. Juicy stuff, man. Yeah, I making me think about it more than I have in a while. Yeah. Yeah, I really want a tiny house. Like that's my goal. Like I really want to be like an old stinky wizard in his little tiny house and like make an art. Like people come to my little house for wisdom or help with something. Like that's like my goal.
Hmm.
Really want that.
Yeah, we're building our little tiny house right now.
Oh, really? Oh, dope.
It's fun. I mean, we also have 3 people, so it's a little
Oh, yeah.
tiny house with 3 people is a lot tinier.
Yep, yep.
But it's also
Are you guys gonna like make it like so you can travel with it?
no. I mean, it's in the ground.
It's in the
It's
ground. Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna try and find a picture real quick, but oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. I really want a tiny house. Yeah, I think of my human design too. I'm not supposed to reach my peak, so to speak, until like my 60s. And I've always felt that.
Right?
Yeah, I've always felt that though. And I feel like that's why I've been like wanting to like be a wizard because that is like the wizard age. You
The
have like
final form.
weird, yeah, final form exactly. Yes, yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's see. That's
Oh, that's dope.
a little tiny house.
Oh my gosh. And it's like two level too. So you got, is that a garage on the bottom?
Yeah. Bottom's got a little cool
Oh
garage. You can put 4 cars in there.
my gosh, you got a nice propane tank out there too.
Got some propane and got a good
Nice.
view.
Oh, that's exciting.
So yeah, it's
Oh,
fun. Very
so
lucky.
cool. Mhm. Yeah, so is your lady on board? I assume she's on board too. She's probably very much into all of this as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planting the garden for the spring and everything. Yeah.
Cool. Oh my gosh. I could see you guys like even like raising bees out there if you wanted.
Oh, we want bees for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There's a cool, awesome little, I forget what it's called, but there's a beehive where the pieces are like here and you just click, you like pull it and the honeycomb separates, the honey comes out and you just click it back and you don't have to wear a bee suit. You
Oh,
don't have to do any of that stuff.
oh my gosh. Wow.
You can just
That's so cool.
harvest them. They're like $500, but
Oh my gosh. Have you heard of the term geomancer before?
heard it. What does it
It's
mean?
basically someone who works energetically with the land to like raise its vibration.
Okay.
Basically a shepherd of the land. Um, kind of sounds like that's like what you're doing a bit, you know?
Yeah, I do need to start thinking about that
Mhm.
more.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
work with the spirits of the land to help you cultivate good energy for the space that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely need more of that too. Like Earth needs a lot of healing. So I have one person who's been thinking about like building houses with that intention, like build, building. Have you heard of Earth ships before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wants to build like Earth ships and like feel the energy of the land and see where it would best like suit the land. And I'm like, that's great. We need more of that sort of intention into home building and
Mm-hmm.
land ownership. Mhm.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at Sacred Hearts for a few days alone on the land out there, and you can totally feel how
Oh
happy
yeah.
that
Oh
land is.
yeah.
So happy.
Yes. Yes. I they've asked me to like house sit for them a couple times, and it's always like I just feel so lucky to like be on the land and walk barefoot on the land. And yeah, I love it out there.
Yeah, it's a great model for what's possible.
Yeah. My friend went to this location where they have retreats. It's not near Tonganoxie, but it's kind of south of Kansas City. And like the land is just sick. Like
Mm,
they like hold like retreats there. And I've heard a couple people say like it's not good energy. Like they just feel, I mean, one of my friends says like they feel death there. I'm like, damn, like so my friend, he wants to go out that my geomancer friend wants to go out there and um see in what ways he can contribute his skills to helping healing the land. I think is awesome.
yeah, I always think about the ancestors that came out here back in the day, just like
Yeah,
what that would look like and how it's totally just like ravaged now.
I know. I know.
Just
Yeah. I think
not.
about that a lot. Just like how much I mean, literally have kind of like raped the land, like it's been, yeah, domesticated in the worst ways. And yeah, it's very disheartening. Um, so it's like what we talked about earlier about like how coming to a campfire is going to be like a, a very valued experience of abundance. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of deconditioning and deconstructing to get the land. It'll never be back to where it was, but we can
I think
definitely.
it can.
You think so?
She's alive. Yeah, she can do whatever. She's
Mhm.
so big and powerful. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
just look at Detroit. The trees are growing through the houses within like 10 years. It's like,
That's true. You're right.
doesn't take long.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll take more than our lifetime, but not
sure,
that long.
sure. Yeah, she'll reclaim. She's been through a lot worse.
I'm sure. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, all those Tartarian mud flood theories, you hear about all that.
I have no, I've not heard about that.
That's a deep rabbit hole to go down.
Really?
There's all the Tartaria was a country that was formed like allegedly like I don't know 200 or 300 years ago, and they say that we changed the timelines, so it's like not the right year. Like their dates are different than our dates,
Hmm.
and then there's all this evidence of mud floods that come in. So there's these all those giant beautiful cathedrals and like buildings like that. There'll be a layer of mud like that
Oh,
looks like it
wait a minute. I
flooded.
have heard this.
Yeah. And
It's-
so the theory is like could have been nuclear war, it could have been some kind of crazy disaster that caused all these mud floods and like changes that they don't even talk about, they don't teach us, but it changed the trajectory of everything. Like when we went from free energy to this control system kind
Hmm.
of thing.
Was this like during the Victorian era?
There's different theories, but yeah, and I'm guessing it's pre like 1800s and stuff.
Okay.
So somewhere
Okay.
around there.
Yeah, because I heard something similar about like it would have been like before the 1900s. They're talking about something similar, how there's all this like, it was right before the Industrial Revolution, and kind of similar thing, might be the same thing we're talking about, but they figured out a way for free energy, and they had all this like um, resourceful ways to build, and like all this amazing technological advancements and architecture. And again, we talked about like, how governmental entities have killed people for creating free energy, was basically the same thing. Like some sort of, they caused some sort of natural disaster to happen to like cover everything up.
Mm-hmm. That's what, yeah.
Mm.
And there was all these world fairs. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so there's all
Yeah.
these beautiful cities that look like ancient Rome.
Hmm.
And then conveniently, in every city, there's a fire.
Yeah.
In every city, like Chicago to San Francisco to St. Louis to you
Yeah.
name a big city, it's like already been designed and mapped out. And
Yeah.
we just come in. That's why it's like it's founded.
Yeah.
They found it. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
we
Right.
didn't even start it.
Yeah. Right. Founded. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. And now I feel like, I feel like that's happening now with some technology, but I feel like the technology that we're creating is more internal. Like we've had a lot
Yeah,
of,
it starts inside, like we said.
yeah, yeah, like we're learning to cultivate that technology within ourselves. And that's something they can't take away unless they kill us, right? Which I don't know. I feel like the more that people are coming online and realizing that, the harder it is for them to like mask that, because it's not a technology that they can take away. It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
internal. You can't take that away from somebody. And that's why we're seeing a lot of like this. Well, let's get them to scroll on their phone for hours. Let's put all these distractions in their way so that that technology that they're cultivating within themselves will develop slower. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's like the Kali Yuga kind of thing. It's just cycles. It's just we go into the dark, we go into the light, we go into the dark, the sun comes, sun
Yeah.
sets.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What is the Kali Yuga?
Kali Yugas are like the Hindu calendar, and it's like 26,000 year calendar, like every 26, 13,000 or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but it's basically we're coming out of the darkest time in the calendar and moving into
Oh, okay.
the lighter, like there was a golden age, whatever it was, 100,000 years ago, and then we go into the dark ages, and now we're coming out. Like the dark ages were literally like the last 1,300 years were like the darkest times it gets, where you're just totally material, totally savage, totally
Yeah.
ego driven, and then you move into the more light times.
Thank God. I'm ready for that. But yeah, it is that ebb and flow though. You're right. Yeah, we come in and out of it. And it's not to say that one is better than the other, one is good or bad. It just
I don't think
is.
you can have one with the other without the
Yeah.
other.
Right.
Can't inhale without exhaling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
that's when I started thinking about evil that way. When you think of evil, live backwards. It's just
Mm. Oh wow. I didn't even know that. Evil is looked backwards.
you're living backwards. You're just that's what it is.
Oh, damn.
Totally against life. You're just
Yeah. You're blowing my mind with that. I didn't even know that.
sweet.
Wow. Fascinating.
So from that, it's just shadow and light. It's not personal.
Right.
It's nothing to do with you necessarily. It's just that's
Mm.
what shadows do, and that's what light does. It's just
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's been a huge lesson for me too, coming into spirituality, is like, all love and light is great, but it could also hold the same capacity as the way that you view darkness as evil. Like light isn't inherently good, it's not inherently bad. You can focus, you can put your awareness on that and receive light in a good way and a bad way. Same with darkness. Like I was so scared of like dark, evil things. And realizing too that everything comes from like source, everything comes from spirit. And so when you can kind of look at these dark, evil, scary things and see that, oh, we come from the same thing. We are the same thing. There's nothing to be inherently afraid of when you view it in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what helped me cope with like my paranormal experiences. Like I've had some dark paranormal experiences, and again, not having really anybody to talk to about it. And it wasn't until my first ceremony that I did that it clicked of like, you never needed to be scared of this in the first place. Like, it was seemingly dark, but there were lessons there for you to learn about yourself. And this energy comes from you and it is you. And you both come also from the same space of spirit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody condemns the devil, but God made the devil. Just
Right.
like,
Right.
wow,
Oh
you
my
can condemn
gosh.
God if you're that mad.
I know. I know. Yeah, it's just like religion has just been so ass backwards. Like, I just don't understand how people can't see how contradictory they are. And in my opinion, I feel like the Bible is more of like art, meaning like it's like poetry, you know, like we're not supposed to take it for literal face value. Like this was a work of art created an inspiration from God. So you don't need
Also based heavily on the stars. Have you known
mm,
that?
I had not.
It's
Uh-uh.
all about the stars. Like Jesus, the sun, returns after 3 days. The sun sets for 3 days in the winter solstice, comes back. It's all just star stories.
I
So that's
didn't
why it resonates with us on such a deep level, because it is our truth. It is the truth of the world.
wow, I've not heard it like that.
Yeah, Mr. Astrotheology. Have you heard of him?
Mm.
He's he get I think his YouTube just got deleted, but he's he breaks it down like it's all like all based on the seasons. It's all based on astrology. It's
Huh.
all like
I'm gonna
yeah,
follow him right now. Mr. Astrotheology. Is that what you
yeah,
said it was?
Santos Bonaccia or something.
Yeah, that's super fascinating, but also, not surprising.
Because it is a good myth, and it is that side where I think it is beautiful stories in there. But I think the reason
Uh,
it's the most popular book in the world is because it's the story of our cosmos
yeah, right,
hidden away.
right. Yeah, no, people have like, I don't know, I think it was in the 50s or 40s when they started like I don't know how to say it, but they started like changing things in the Bible where it was more of an agenda. Like that's I think that's when they started to like put things about, homosexuality as a sin and, things like that. They started changing it to like be a manipulative tool to control people. Um, but that's interesting. I'm going to look that up, Mr. Astrotheology. And you said his
Mhm.
YouTube got deleted too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's not
too,
surprising.
too real.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Taking the technology away, throw it away. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, there's a few podcasts I've listened to and a few different people that are into it, but he's the best one. Yeah, I can send you his thing on Instagram too.
yeah. Yeah, please do. Damn, we kind of rolled through a lot.
I knew
I,
this would be easy.
I
Two
had no,
hours.
I was trying to figure out, my ego was trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to talk about? We need to like create some bullet points of what we're talking about. And I was
That's
like,
what
no,
everybody I ask. That's their first thing. Like, so what are we gonna?
uh-huh.
We're going into the unknown. I don't know.
They're just flowing.
I'm gonna be the hollow bamboo and just
Yes.
let it
Oh,
come out.
yes. I like that.
Walk without feet.
Walk without feet. There you go, bringing it all the way back. Yes. Yes. Oh man.
I guess you have anything to plug or share? Anything you want to promote? Anything that you got
Um,
going
yeah,
on?
sure. So, um, it is a pleasure and an honor to be able to offer the services that I do, which is I create these things called soul portraits for people. And I've noticed that in my journey through spirituality, I have a really good gift of being able to see people's energy and spirit guides very clearly, and being able to also see like people's purposes, and being able to represent that in a work of art. And it's simultaneously a beautiful work of art that's going to resonate with you on a soul level, but it's also a tool for people to use to ground back into themselves when they're feeling uncertain in their lives. Um, and so I offer that for people, and I also do I do some other spiritual artwork as well. But right now in my life, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm slowly kind of transitioning into teaching people how to make art in an intentional and spiritually centered way. There's a lot of, I've noticed a lot of people just have a lot of hesitancy towards entering the art creative expression world, just because they have a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of ego
A lot of
control.
wounds, a lot of perfectionist
Yeah.
wounds.
Yep. So I'm developing a program where we acknowledge those wounds and we actively work through them, and then empower ourselves, and then create from that space. So a lot of like guided meditation work, a lot of this technique called intuitive sketching, which is allowing yourself to have a pencil, pen in hand, and move your hand across the paper, however feels most comfortable to you, and kind of continuing to surrender to the movement of what wants to move through you. And then taking whatever you just drew and then interpreting it. So we then connect to like, okay, well, let's connect to our higher selves and intuitively sketch. And then I take you through an interpretation process of, people, it often looks like a lot of scribbles on paper. So we identify, does it have more of a rigid form, a more smooth form? That could mean that could represent more masculine or feminine. Certain shapes overlaid one another can represent certain things. So yeah, I'm slowly transitioning into that as well. That's kind of what my wizardry is guiding me through at this time. So yeah,
Beautiful. Awesome.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that was awesome. I guess the only thing I would promote is if you want some holistic health. I'm still figuring it all out, but yeah, reach out if you're interested in upgrading mind, body, soul. That's been my joy to offer people.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I've been thinking about it because I know you've been like hella busy as a dad and just traversing through life in general, but um, yeah, that's been something that keeps popping up for me as well. So I might contact you about that soon.
awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be
Walk you
great.
through some of the stuff,
Yeah,
get you
yeah,
grounded in the
yes.
body.
That's what I need too. That's like one of the reasons I'm really drawn to you as well. Is like you have this just like this beautiful groundedness about you, and I just feel like you can hold a lot. You have a capacity to hold a lot for people, which I really appreciate, and something that I've been desiring to experience with you. So yeah, I'll have to talk
Awesome.
soon about it.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, yes, thank you. It was an honor. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get it back, run it back sometime.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. Have a good one, bro. See ya.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.